Hey, so in this video I show you how to make a Lyoner at home. It's also sometimes called in Germany as Fleischwurst. You need pork shoulder, lean beef and pork back fat. And then you also need some crushed ice for the cutting and mixing process later on. And then for the spices, salt and cure, cutter phosphate, and then for the spices, paprika, white pepper, cardamom, mace, ground ginger, coriander seeds. Yeah, that's it. And I would say let's start with the process. First, like always, cut the meat into strips. The size you can vary depending on how big your meat grinder is. And then once you're ready, it's time to grind the spices. I add all the spices and also the salt to a spice grinder. The reason is because I get a super fine powder, which I then can distribute evenly across the meat. So blitz it up, and as you can see, it's now a super fine powder. This powder you can add to the meat and mix the meat mixture. Just make sure it's dispersed evenly, and then you can put it in the freezer for 1 to 2 hours. I'm using like the smallest perforated disc for this now to grind this sausage meat, because we want a super fine sausage. So what I do is I also grind it twice, just to make sure that it's like a super fine mass, and my food processor has it easier in the next step. Speaking of the food processor, there it is. I now add the cutter phosphate to it. Start mixing it, and then gradually add the crushed ice. In this process, it's important that you have a look at the temperature. The sausage mass should not be above 12 degrees Celsius, which is around 53.6 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, mix it, make sure that the mass is super fine, and measure the temperature, add the ice gradually. And yeah, in the end, you should have a super fine paste, which you can then fill either into glasses or into artificial casings. And it should look like this. Yeah, as I said, for filling, you can either use glass jars like this one. You can preserve the meat and sausage like this. I have a description below. And then you can also use artificial casings. Typically they are a bit bigger, but I only had the small ones, so yeah, I'm using them. Shouldn't have a big impact on the taste. It's only in terms of like how it looks. So get the artificial casing on the sausage stuffer. And then like one thing I did wrong here, you need to have your hand at the end of the sausage and then have it tightly fill in the meat and make sure that there are no air bubbles and that the meat mixture is filled super tight. We will see this at the end when I cut into it, that I did not have it tight enough and there were some air bubbles in it. Yeah, then twist it off and clean it up a bit, and then you can get some butcher's twine to close the sausage. You can also do this on your own. If you do it on your own, you can tie the knot before and then just put it over the casing and tie it shut. Yeah, if you have some help, this is much easier, as you can see. And yeah, you can do this with the whole meat mass. Always like fill it very tightly, then put a knot on it and do it again. Okay, so now it's time to cook the sausage. For this, I put them in 80 degrees Celsius hot water, which is around 176 Fahrenheit, for 1 to 1.5 hours, depending on how big the caliber of your casing is. So yeah, for me, this was about like 1 hour, but if you use thicker calibers, then you need to adjust the timing. And there it is. I let it cool off, and now have a look at it. Yeah, and as you can see, it looks good, but you can see the small air bubbles in it, which is yeah, due to the filling process. I made a mistake there. And then also you can see these tiny points And this is because my food processor wasn't strong enough, so it's not completely chopped through and a super fine mass. However, I think it already looks good for a sausage made at home. So, okay, let's get some of it and give it a try. Yeah, you can really taste the rich flavor. You can also taste a bit of the beef. It's not too salty. I like the small addition of sweet paprika. Yeah, let's try it with bread and butter. That's how you typically eat this in Germany. Yeah, like always, butter almost makes everything better. It's super rich. It's super tasty. You can also see the whole recipe below. And yeah, if you liked the video, please subscribe to my channel. There are weekly sausage videos. Also give me a like and see you in the next one. Bye bye.